everyone, welcome back to another episode of Table for Wong. I'm here with,
Dominic.
okay, and today we're going to be discussing yet more controversial topics. So let's have a little brief introduction of who Dominic is. Just tell me your hobbies, your job, and your biggest hot take.
My hobbies, I'm a collector, as you can see here. A lot of Batman, a lot of Wonder Woman. And my job, I work in a hospital. I am with the transport. I'm the dispatcher. And my hot take is all opinions are subjective.
Mm, okay, that's valid. So we're just going to head right into the questions. Okay, so for the first question that we have for Dominic, on the form that you filled out, you said abortion is not murder. Why do you think that?
I think it's choice, really.
Mm-hmm.
I know that it really depends, honestly, like where, what, what did I say? What part of the pregnancy it is. Like if it's like
Mm-hmm.
4 weeks in, my opinion only. If it's
No,
like
yeah, of
4 weeks,
course.
I don't feel like it's considered murder because it hasn't like fully developed. You know,
Uh-huh.
it's not until it's like probably like that big is when it's like, no, that's murder.
Okay, so what do you think it is like before those 4 weeks?
I have no idea.
Okay.
It's probably like that big for all I know.
Yeah,
But
some like a size of a kidney bean or something like that.
yeah, like if
Yeah.
it's really tiny, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you believe like have you seen like all those like Charlie Kirk videos and stuff like that? I don't know if you know
No.
him, but okay. Um, well, personally for me, I do feel like it is murder. So,
Okay.
yeah, I feel like once it happens, it's like there's a baby in you. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's what it is for me, like conception, right? You know what I mean, like what people say about
Mhm.
that. Um, However, at the same time, I believe there's always like an exceptional case. But I do believe that even if something bad happened to you and why you don't want the baby, um, you can turn something good out of something bad, essentially, right?
Right. You can.
Yeah. Um, also, also what? Also, it's like bringing a life into the world. It's definitely like what I want to know your thoughts on this actually. Some people say like, oh, if you're poor and you don't have the money to raise a baby, like, does that make abortion okay? Like, if you can't give them a healthy environment to grow up in, what do you think about that?
Honestly, that's really what goes on in the Philippines. I have
Mm-hmm.
family out there, and they deal with poverty like no other, and they still have 9 kids. And I'm like,
Oh
how do
yeah,
you do that? You know?
yeah,
And they're
and they're
like,
still able to
it's
like
just kind of,
they're still
yeah,
able to like survive and like raise the kids.
yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
and
yeah.
even though the means are not that great, but they're still able to raise that many, especially in a country like that. But when
Mm-hmm.
it comes to here, it's different because we, as a society, it's like I feel like society's a little more selfish, because it's like if I can't take care of myself, how am I going to take care of a baby? You know,
Yeah, yeah.
like how am I supposed to make a living when I can't even get my own apartment and I expect to bring a baby into everything and then have to raise the baby for its entire life? That's where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, should I do it or should I do it?
Yeah.
Comes into play.
Yeah, if you don't mind me asking, are you religious in any way?
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of,
I
sort of?
believe, yes, I believe in God. I believe
Yeah,
there is a God.
yeah,
Okay.
me too.
I'm not the type that will run to church though.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
I feel like if I have the time, I'll go.
Mm-hmm.
And the gas.
And
But
the
other than that,
cats?
the gas.
Oh, the
The
gas.
gas.
I was like, the
The gas.
cats. Okay,
um,
yeah.
No, but my uncle, he always tells me, he was like, Dominic, why you not go to church today? Yeah, my uncle's like that because he's very religious. He was like,
Mhm.
Dominic, why you not go to church? And I'm like, oh, I had to work, Unc. And he's like, I did too, but what time you start? And I was like,
Yeah.
2.
He's on
And
you
he's like,
about it.
that's no, yeah, he's like, that is no excuse. We start at 8, we end at 10, okay? I was like, yeah, but we go in the back, we're eating, singing karaoke. I'm like, I'm on work. You're over here
Yeah.
like, oh, are you thirsty? Here, take a Corona. It's okay. It's Sunday. It's all right. Church
Mhm.
is over. And then
Yeah.
I'm like, I have to go to work. And he's like, so do
Yeah.
I. I leave
You're
too.
tired. Yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely hard. Like, once you really have that like lock-in mindset and you want to improve in so many places with your different goals, it's really hard
Yeah.
if you're trying to aspire to be so many things at once. You know what I mean? Yeah. Um, well, that raises the question for me. When you said like you think it's a choice at like it's okay if it's 4 weeks before, is that just because of like the size of the baby at that time?
Um,
Or
because it's in its early stages. That's why. But if you let it get past that, it's like you have the ability to do it at a certain point. But then when it gets bigger, I feel like you have a more attachment to it, you know,
you have
and
a
you
moral
feel something.
attachment?
Yeah, because you can
Mm-hmm.
feel it growing inside of you once it's like past 4 weeks, you know, and it's different. you
Yeah,
know
but
it's gotten bigger. You're starting to feel things differently.
mm-hmm.
I feel like the first month is where you kind of have that leeway of figuring out, like, do you really want to do it or not? But if you wait any longer than that, then you should just keep it.
Yeah, okay. But how about like you're talking about like feeling the baby like physically, but how about
Mhm.
when you know it happens and you like take a pregnancy test or like start developing like certain things, um, you know that mentally. Does that like change anything in your opinion? Or it's just that has to be a physical thing?
Mentally too, honestly. Yeah, because when it comes to mentally, it's like I said, choice. Like, do you want
Mm-hmm.
to do it or not?
Yeah.
When you know you're pregnant, everybody always thinks of, should I do it or not? Can I
Yeah.
pull it off or not? And
Yeah.
everybody always talks about or thinks first, what were my parents like? What is my life like? Who am I with? Do I want this
That's
person
true.
to
That's
be,
true. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
do I want this person who I got pregnant with to be in my life forever? You know?
Mm-hmm.
And do I really want a baby forever? Am I ready for it? It's all, and not a lot of things about like being ready. No one's ready for kids. No one. When it happens, it happens. So, if you're ready, great, good for you. But most of the time, nobody's ready for a child.
Yeah, but isn't it like when you decide to do the deed with someone, um, don't you at that time like have a responsibility of, okay, I might get pregnant, I might have to bring a baby into this world. Like what makes it, or at least in my perspective, because I already see it as a baby, like once the egg or the sperm reaches the egg. Oh my God, I love that Batman cup. Okay, anyways, yeah, so I already see it as a baby, so wouldn't you feel like that woman and the father have sort of a responsibility in bringing it, outside into the real world?
Yeah, they do. They both. This is like a conversation for both parents to have, especially when
Mm-hmm.
the mom finds out. She has to tell the dad. Okay.
Yeah.
And you also got to find out how he feels about it. If he's going to be there 100%, that's good because now you're not in it alone. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes that decision easier. But if it's like a one night stand type deal, you don't even remember the person, or it was just a one time thing, and you don't really get along either. It just kind of happened due to circumstances, which happens a lot. Then it's, like that choice of, should I or shouldn't I?
Yeah.
But every guy has the right to know that he's going to be a dad or not.
Yeah, I think so too. Like personally, I think that's a great thing to like I
Yeah.
want to be a mom one day, so yeah. But you're talking about like the circumstances of the situation, right?
Yeah, the circumstances. That's
Yeah.
very important.
Yeah. So it's like I guess what I'm trying to say is does that baby like have the right to live basically in the first like once the egg or the sperm reaches the egg?
That's the mom's choice.
And that's the mom's choice. Because you don't
Yeah,
believe it's a baby yet, right?
not yet.
Okay. Let's see what else. Let's move
But
on
I'm
to
not a woman, so I can't really, relate at all.
yeah, and I think it's definitely different for women and men, but
Yeah,
like it's definitely a conversation that should be talked about, you know. And I'm not trying to like grill you or anything whenever I have these
yeah.
debates or conversations or whatever, it's really just that.
Like
Um,
if I could talk to someone who is a mom who went through it, I want to know their point of view of it because
mhm.
they lived it and they experienced it. So from what I'm saying, I'm like, well, I'm coming from the outsider's perspective. I'm not a father. I don't have children. So, like I said, my opinion is subjective.
Yeah.
You don't agree or disagree with it, but I'm not a dad, so I can't relate to it.
Do
You
you want to
know,
be a dad one day?
of course, I got
Yeah.
plenty of toys.
I think, yeah, that's what I was gonna say. My dad is exactly the same. He has like a bunch of action figures and like Pops and Hot Wheels and everything. He's like always showing me. But yeah, anything else about this topic or should we move on?
uh, Definitely would love to hear a woman's point of view because if I could hear their point of view, it would open my mind to be like, you know what, you're right. Then I
Yeah,
would change my point of view about it because I could see where they're coming from because they
yeah,
experienced it, they lived it.
yeah,
I have nothing to relate to it, but I'm just expressing where I'm at with it.
yeah. And by like a woman's point of view, do you mean someone who was maybe a single mother or someone who had to just make that simple decision, like should I or should I not keep it? Or like what kind of woman?
All, all of them. You got the one that decided not to keep the child, and for what
Mm-hmm.
reasons? You have the one that the dad's not in the picture, and it's just me. Why she decided, you know what? I'm just gonna suck it up and do it because by nature, I can't say by nature, um, but the strength to do that alone, parents, no parents, with parents, that takes a lot of courage to do.
Yeah,
And
it
and
definitely
then
does.
and then you got the perspective of the person who actually has the whole family and the whole package,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And then there's that very rare one where it's like both parents are just getting along. Co-parenting. That's another one. The co-parents, where they're
Hmm.
just like, okay, I want a child, you want a child, we can make it work. We don't have to be together, but we can come to an agreement of where I'm at and where you're at. My best friend is like that, actually. He would
Mm-hmm.
be like the first person I would ask about co-parenting because
Hmm.
he lives in the Bay Area where you're at,
Hmm.
and his baby mama lives here.
Hmm.
So they co-parent, Well, I can't
Yeah,
say co-parent. They take care of their son, and they've been
yeah,
doing that for about 12 years now.
yeah. That sounds
And
nice.
he's a
Yeah,
good kid. He's a good
yeah,
kid. So, he has a good dad. My best friend being his dad, and he's a lot like me.
yeah. That's cute.
You know,
Yeah.
so
Then that
he's
son like can always come to you if you guys ever need to talk too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that's always a good thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Okay. I totally agree. Like, I definitely want to see like all those different like basically the process and the different choices that people make regarding like the baby, essentially.
Yeah,
Um,
and it
yeah,
all has
yeah.
to do with circumstance too, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah, yeah, yeah. There's always like different cases that everyone goes through. Like you can never really know what someone is going through. But like at the end of the day, like personally for me, why I do feel like it is murder is because I do believe that it is a baby right when it happens, and I do feel like you have a responsibility to like basically own up for your actions, essentially. Yeah. Okay, so the next question is, should children be able to take puberty blockers with parental consent?
Okay, this one I had a little issue with that question
Okay.
because this is a, like I said, this is a choice, but I feel there's a gray area with this one. Can you repeat the
Yeah.
question one more time?
Yeah. Should children be able to take puberty blockers with parental consent?
With parental consent, yes. But if they're doing it behind their back, it creates a okay, for example, I was like, let's say 12 and realized I don't want to be a guy. Is that what puberty blockers do? They just stop you
Yeah,
from,
essentially.
the facial hair and all that?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So let's say if I was in that age, I realized I know exactly who I am, I know exactly who I want to be, and it's a hotter version of my sister, obviously. And I chose to do that. Um, then how do they find the way of doing that? They don't know if it's safe, especially at that age. Where are they getting all that from? And like the puberty blockers, I mean, not the influence, but
Hmm.
like, how does a child find a way to do all that and not talk to their family about it? Because whatever they're doing, it could be dangerous. Like, what if they take the wrong puberty blockers and it does something to their body and they get really sick? You know, I feel a child should really talk to their parents about who they are, what they want to be, who they want to be. And if the parents don't agree with it, then it's like, well, this is who I am. And I want to do this. And if the parents don't agree with it, that's, like I said, as parents, it's a bit shocking when a child wants to do something like that.
Hmm.
And as parents, you have to be a little more understanding with your child because if you ask them to be something they're not, it really destroys them as a person. Like, because it feels like every day you're just putting on a mask and you're pretending to be something you're not.
Hmm.
And when you keep hiding who you really are, you have um, difficulty with duality.
Hmm. So, like
And
yeah, yeah, continue.
so you'll have difficulty with duality because you're not comfortable with who you are because you want to be one way, but your parents are like, no. But if they are understanding, then I feel like when they do that step and they make that step and the parents are okay with it and they're like supportive of it, then I feel like that's more comforting for the kid to be that way and they're happy. And it's all about your parents accepting who you are. And as long as they're accepting of who you are and who you want to be, that right there is like the love you really need from your family. And
Hmm.
that's the love that a lot of people don't get when they decide, I want to be this, you know?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah, just that's I feel is what's important, you know.
Yeah, I like 100% agree with talking to your parents or like even if you're not a child anymore, like talking to someone and getting like a support system. But definitely like with your parents and with family, you want to have that deeper bond with them. Um, so I guess also like another question that follows up with this one is um we were talking about who you are. Um, does that include like your gender? Like, oh, I'm not a girl, I'm a guy. Or it's just like who you
No,
are as like, oh, I don't feel like, I don't want to be that nice girl all the time. Like, that's not me. And I feel like I have to put up this mask or whatever.
that goes both ways actually. I have a really really great friend who is transgender, and my first question was why. Because I always wanted to know.
Yeah.
I remember you when you were Daniel. Now you're Destiny.
Yeah.
That's not their real name. I didn't
Mhm.
have permission to put them on blast. But as an example, like I remember when you were Daniel, but now you're Destiny. So how, why, and when did you decide to do
Mhm.
this?
Yeah.
And I remember while we were hanging out, she told me her whole life story. And I call her she because that's how she identifies.
Mhm.
And if you were to meet her, you would think she. So I'm just
Yeah.
like she. So I don't see Daniel anymore. I just see Destiny. Once
Yeah.
again, not the real names, but
Huh?
for example.
Not
I
real
said,
names, but for
once again,
example.
not
Okay,
the real
great.
names, okay, but for example, okay.
Okay.
So when Daniel and I were friends in high school, I didn't really like him very much because he was slightly taller than me. He was very good looking, and he was like, all the girls like, oh, Daniel's so cute. Oh my God.
Uh-huh.
Like, and I'm just like, yeah, Daniel.
Uh-huh.
I was so jealous of the guy, right? And
Yeah.
then I swear to God, one day, 10 years later, I'm at this club and I remember running into him and he was very, very flamboyant, right?
Mhm.
We're talking like he had like really pretty eyebrows. He had the um, foundation with the
Yeah,
cheeks and
yeah.
everything, you know, the
Mhm.
hair. He looked like a K-pop star. And I was just like, what, bruh? I was
Yeah.
like, ain't jealous of you no more. Then I then I didn't become jealous of him because he was even better looking, and I was just like, oh wow,
Uh.
bro. And
Mhm.
then he was like, yeah, how are you? And the voice and everything changing, you know, the mannerisms was like something I had to get used to, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, hey, we should really hang out. You know, we got to catch up. I was like, we sure do. So
Mhm.
then, like a week later, um, we went to a club, and he didn't tell me that it was drag night. So I got to see his what do they call that when his other side of who
Yeah,
he
like
is, right?
his, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
his drag side, right?
Yeah.
So I'm at the bar waiting for him to show up, and all of a sudden this chick shows up. We're talking like long black hair, this white dress with like the sleeve was down here, but this was exposed,
Mhm.
just legs for days. I was like, oh my goodness. Sits
Yeah.
next to me and like, hi, how are you? And I was like, oh, you know, just I'm waiting for a friend, and I'm not really looking at this person because I'm like, I don't want to stare because
Yeah.
I've had a little too many. So she just starts talking to me, and then I noticed like she's starting to flirt a little bit, and then we started having drinks, and then I realized she has like, and her sleeve is covering a tattoo, and I
Yeah.
was like, I've seen that tattoo before. And then when she reached for the drink, it went up and I could see more of it. And I was like, wait a minute, I know
I
that
know
tattoo.
you.
And I was like, wait a minute. And then it's my friend Daniel. And he
Yeah.
goes, you really don't recognize me? I was like, oh my God. Couldn't believe it.
Mhm.
He looked amazing. I was like, bruh. We do have a lot to talk about. He was like, bro,
Yeah.
if you didn't know it was me, you were about to take me home. I'm like, no, 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 no. Water. I need water.
That's kind of funny. The what?
I'm like, I got to sober up here because
Yeah, you're
you
like,
look like
what
your
is going on?
sister.
Mhm.
So he told me after high school, he broke up with his girlfriend, and then he was dealing with, you know, why. And she was like, you know, you're this way, but then you're this way. You got more fashion sense than I do, which I think is weird. And then one day he just kind of like decided, what if I tried to do this, which was date men, because he found himself attracted to a certain guy.
Mhm.
And he did. And then he realized that he liked being more feminine. And then, one thing led to another. And he's like, it was like a domino effect of things. When
Yeah.
I discovered I think women are beautiful, but I'm not into women. And then when he started dating men, he was like, he's like, then I realized who I was. And then once the clothes and everything started changing, and then he did drag on a dare. And then he loved the way he looked. And then he started going out like that. And then when he went out like that, people are like, have you ever performed? And then he's like, no. And they're like, well, try. So he did.
Yeah.
And then he really loved doing that. And about 50% of the time, he looked like Destiny. And then after a while, he started wearing makeup all the time.
Mhm.
He started dressing more closer to Destiny, but had a little bit of Daniel still there. And then after a certain point, it was his hair was getting longer to be more Destiny. And then that's when he realized that that's who he wants to be.
Yeah.
Like he didn't want to be Daniel no more. He wanted to be Destiny. So as time went on, and this was like 10 years later, so he's still half and half. The years went on. So 5 years go by. He gets the hair grows out. This is done. The cheekbones, the lips, and the BBL. 5 years later, right? Sponsored by Patreon, by the way. That's how he did it, if you're
Yeah.
wondering. And he worked at a bank. So
Mhm.
imagine, him coming in, and in the 5 years he worked at the bank, he went from Daniel to Destiny, and it was like quite the transition.
Yeah.
And after that, it was like I got confused about what to call him, and because I've always known him as Daniel, and then one day she just said, "I'm Destiny. I'm not Daniel anymore. I don't dress like Daniel. I used to be Daniel. Once I'm this, all this, he's like, it's Destiny.
Yeah.
Daniel don't exist no more."
And
She's like, what?
this was based off like someone dared Daniel to dress up.
Yeah, dared him to do drag, and then it just opened the door, and it was a
Mm.
realization. He figured
Yeah.
out where he was happiest, who he wanted.
Yeah. I also have like a bunch of trans friends and like gay friends and stuff like that. But I do like I don't to me help me understand like what is it like why do you have to change like you can still do drag but say that you're a guy like why is it like oh just because I like makeup and just because I want my hair longer or something that makes me a girl like you can still be a guy and do those things right or like do you know what at least what Destiny's story was behind like the
Destiny's, Destiny's
transition.
story was more finding who she is as a person. Because when she was Daniel, relationships weren't working with women, but he couldn't figure out why. But then when he realized he was gay, then he realized where he was as a gay person, uh, and he figured out he's the bottom, so to speak. So from there, it went from knowing who he is to being comfortable with. And that's another thing. When you go from hanging out with all straight people, and then you go and your friends, your identity pretty much
Yeah.
changes when you start hanging out with the LGBTQ community. And what I find interesting is that the LGBT community is, at the time, was more accepting to figuring out who you are as a person. The community was more like, you're figuring it out as your friends. We're pretty much your new family because we're going through it too. She went through it, he went through it, they're going through it. We're going to help each other together. That's how it used to be. I'm not
Hmm.
saying that it's not like that anymore, but it's pretty different now.
So
So his transition went very smoothly because his mom was okay with it. His dad had to live with it, but they still love him. He got married not too long ago, actually. Took a while, but
yeah,
yeah, he's married
congrats.
now.
Hmm.
Yeah, he was a beautiful bride.
Yeah.
I mean, she was a beautiful bride.
Yeah.
Because once they
She
start, Yeah,
She
she
married
was
to a
beautiful.
guy or a girl?
A guy. She married a guy.
And is this like
And
no transition?
no, the guy was he's like tatted up, goatee, he
Uh,
wears Jordans. He's very thugged out. And I'm
yeah,
like, really? I would have never guessed he'd be with her.
yeah,
But when you see her, you're like, if you didn't know she was transgender, you'd be like, damn, bro, how'd you do that?
yeah. I've had those
You know?
moments with some people.
So, and him, he's, I'll call him Victor.
Yeah,
Uh, Victor is like, I got 10, bro.
yeah,
He's like, everything, he's like, I love everything about her.
yeah.
She loves everything about me. He's
Does
like,
Victor
I'm a
know?
man. Oh, he knows. He's
That's
known
good.
from the get go.
Yeah.
She um she always makes it a thing whenever she meets a guy. The very first time she meets somebody, she tells him right away, she'll ask, are you gay? And if they say, why? She's like, because I'm trans. And then it's like stops for a minute. And she's like, it's funny how they always stop for a minute and they think, and then they always look at their drink and think again.
That's
And
kind of
they're
funny.
like, just like
Yeah, it's
the
been a while,
process,
so
like
like she
the
knows
whole
all the
process of that
repeated.
whole,
Yeah.
you know. And I was just like, it's funny how she always says, they stop, they look up, they look at me, and they always look at the drink and think, if I do this, what am I gonna say?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like, once I see the drink, I know they're lying. she's she's like
Mhm.
every time she's like without fail she's like every time they look at the drink, I know they're lying because she could just tell right off the bat,
Yeah.
like, never mind, and like, well, where are you gonna go? It's like, no, it's okay, because
Yeah.
if you wanted to be honest, you just say it straight out, you know.
Mhm.
But my thing was, I asked her, I was like, well, what's the answer you're looking for? And she goes, if they're straight. And I'm like, okay, how are you straight and you like a transgender woman? I can never wrap my hand around that answer, right? Because it's not, I can't say it's, they. They, in my opinion, are not a real woman, right? Because there's something of their male anatomy that's still there. If it's not, that's one thing. Okay, that's where this gray area is, in my opinion. The gray area is.
Yeah.
If it's completely, oh my god, I can't stop saying it's. If
It's okay.
they are not completely transformed, you know, I feel like, there's,
Still
you're
a
a bit gay, bro.
beauty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're a bit gay because, she's got the same thing you got going on. But if she's completely transformed, then I feel like, well, she's not a boy anymore. I mean, everything's gone that would
Mhm.
make you a guy, except for your DNA.
Yeah.
But, she can't get pregnant, but also some real women can't get pregnant either. Some, not all. But I feel like once they're completely transformed, then it's different.
So,
But if they are, yes, I need to stop saying it. If they are like 90% there and that 10% still there, then that's where I'm like, they're not that straight.
so is it basically like just based on their physical appearance or what they were born with? Like what's still there, like what we're talking about?
Still there.
Yeah.
Like I said, gray area. I'm probably gonna get canceled for this one, but that's just my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
you still got what I got. You
Yeah.
know, there's, you know,
No, yeah, it's
It's,
okay. Like, I
I
get
felt
canceled
it's
all the
still
time,
gay,
but like,
you know?
yeah, I feel like in a way it's also like when I first got introduced to the, I don't know how to say this, like the ideology or like the concept of being trans, it didn't make sense to me because it's like, um, people would say, "Oh, I don't feel like a guy," or "Oh, I don't feel like a girl." And that was interesting to me, and I guess I was really just confused about it because all my life I was also told that there's no, like, there shouldn't be like a girl should do this and a guy should do this. Um, However, now I do feel like there are natural gender roles. Do you agree with gender roles?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I do feel like that's changed a little bit. So that was my first question that like sparked up with me in whenever people talked about like transgender and stuff like that. It didn't make sense to me at all. I was like, what are you talking about? But now it's like it's something based on the truth and like honesty. Um, Like for me, I have a bunch of transgender friends. Don't get me wrong, I love them so very much.
Oh, me
But
too. I love my
yeah,
transgender friends
yeah, but I
because
don't necessarily, yeah,
because with them, they're the most honest about everything because
yeah.
they are who they are. They have no filter. They will tell you right off the back, you know what? You're a hypocrite. You know what? You're this. Okay? You say you're like this, but you're really like this.
I
They will
mean,
call you out on
at the same
everything.
time, like, okay, sure, they can be honest, but I just want to get that out there. Like, so are regular people. Oh my God, I don't mean to be sounding rude, okay, but you like when we're when we're in our like original state. But
Yeah.
I'm trying to say like also at the same time, are they okay, they're honest, but they didn't accept like who they first were. You know what I mean? Like they completely 360'd it and they were like, okay, I don't feel like this. Like, what does that even mean? You know what I mean? And then, like, the second other thing for me is that you're lying about who you really are in a sense. Like, so it connects to what it really means to be a girl and what it really means to be a guy. Like, you're essentially, I feel like, in a way, you're lying. And if you're asking other people to call you a guy or a girl and use these certain pronouns, it's like like you're forcing them to say something that's not true. In my opinion. I know
Yeah.
that was like a big one, which I get canceled for a lot, but
Yeah.
I'm just like it doesn't really register for me.
I I just become more. I just became accepting of it. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I when it came to Daniel, it was hard to go from Daniel to Destiny. But once you spend enough time with Destiny, you're like, it's Destiny now. It's not
Yeah.
Daniel.
Yeah.
And then what's funny was Daniel told Destiny, sorry, Destiny told me this. You say your favorite hero is Batman, right? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, who's the mask? Is it Bruce Wayne or is it Batman? Because if you were to read your comics, he's in the Batcave 90% of the time. The only time he has to be Bruce Wayne is when he's in public to make it look like he's not Batman. Because he never calls himself Bruce Wayne.
Hmm.
He only tells people, hi, Bruce Wayne. But when he's home, he's Batman. He's pondering. He's waiting, sitting there, waiting for that signal to come on. He knows who he is now. Think of it like that.
I
I
mean
was
like
Daniel.
Batman
And
didn't.
Daniel realized, yeah, Batman didn't change his complete appearance. Okay.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I
But
mean, like, Batman as who he is stemmed from Bruce Wayne. You know,
yeah,
like it's
exactly.
connected.
From the
It's not
trauma,
like,
right?
yeah, but it's not necessarily like you're calling something like a whole nother identity because Batman is still connected with that. Rather, like Destiny in this case can still be like all these like a super, like pretty girl or whatever she wants to be, but that loses Daniel. Do you know what I mean? Like you can still
Yeah.
be Daniel and you can still like dress up. Like why do you like I don't understand like why do you want to change
Well,
your parts?
what what Daniel was, Daniel didn't want to be a boy because he felt more comfortable being a woman. Is how he looked at it. Was I don't. The way he tried to make me understand it was Daniel doesn't want to be Batman. Daniel wants to be Wonder Woman, or
Uh,
Daniel wants to be Catwoman.
yeah.
And I go, okay, why? He's like, because I don't feel comfortable as a man. She's like, I felt more comfortable being a woman. You know, my stature, I love makeup. I love to dress this way. And she's like, I wanted the boobs. I got the boobs. She's never regretted it doing that. Got the BBL, never regretted it. She loves who she is now. She's more accepting of who she is. She does once in a while, occasionally remember who she was, but then she remembers she was never happy as that. It was like a mask, a mask she was putting on because as when we were younger, it was a boy is supposed to be with a girl. A boy can't be with another boy. It was Adam and Eve, not Adam and Steve.
Mhm.
So that's what he was taught all his life. And then one day when he realized it took his high school sweetheart to leave him for him to figure this out, who he really was. And when he did, it's the best decision she made for herself to discover this is not who I'm supposed to be. This is who I am now, is who I am supposed to be.
Mhm.
And she also says you need people like that to let other people know it's okay if you don't feel comfortable in your own skin.
That
Find out what makes you comfortable.
that kind
But
of
like I said,
reminds me yeah, that kind of
all
reminds
pain is
me like
subjective.
yeah, that kind of reminds me like when you were saying uh they don't really feel themselves, right? Like in their or like Daniel didn't feel like himself or
I know.
themselves
Yeah.
in their like form or whatever. But isn't that the same like when I was 16 and I was depressed? I didn't feel like myself either. Like I didn't want to like could it just be respectfully a stage?
Well, when
I
we're
think it's
teenagers,
also
we're
hard to discuss because there's no like trans in the room as well.
with when we're teenagers, we're at that point of our lives where we're trying to figure out what happens after high school. You know, who are we during high school? Because high school was brutal. I mean, when I was in high school, I was semi popular.
Mm-hmm.
I could literally say I was semi popular.
Yeah,
I was on the football team, I was on the track team. I grew up with everybody who was popular. I To this day I have like a couple of friends from high school still, just a couple, not a
mm-hmm.
lot. And their lives were, especially the ones that were popular, still
Yeah,
kind of evolved around high school. Like I have a friend named Andrew who I knew since I was 6. And he was all about football, sports, track, fitness.
yeah.
He's a high school football coach.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, and not to disrespect my boy Andrew, I love you, death brother, but I feel like that's what when football was over in high school, and then after high school, he was trying to figure out, well, what am I supposed to do with my life? The best part of my life is over. The fame, the sport, the crowd, like that part of him was gone. you know.
Yeah.
Now he was like, I remember he went to college, he got his credentials, he became a cross fitness guy. He even had his own gym for a minute, and then I don't know
Oh,
what happened
nice.
to it. And then he got a job at our high school,
Mhm.
and he became the football coach.
Yeah.
And I was like, you became the high school football coach at our high school? And he goes, yeah. And I remember seeing him when he was still a coach, and I was like, bro, I remember when we used to do this, when we used to do that. He's like, oh my gosh. He's like, you just reminded me of some stuff I need to put down on some notes. I need to get these kids into shape. He's like, I need to get these cell phones out of here. And I'm just like, oh God. Like he was just, I remember that was a good experience with him. And then he went from there to teaching at another high school because I, it was funny how he went from all that to being a coach at our high school and then left our high school and went to another one. And I was like, how do you like your new high school? He's like, it's easier to do it when you're not having so many memories of when you used to do it at the
That's
same
funny.
place at the
Yeah.
same time. He's like, because he's like, I'd be there, you know, telling the players, you need to do this, we're gonna do this play. And then I'm having flashbacks of Coach Murphy saying the same thing to me.
Mhm.
And he's
Yeah.
like, you just need to get out of there because it was like reliving your childhood, but from a different perspective. And then once he did it and he realized, I still love coaching, I just don't want to do it here. So he does it someplace else. Um, Now he realizes that's where he was more comfortable. That's who he is.
Yeah.
Me, on the other hand, when I was 16, I did not know what I was going to do with my life. I have my family where, like, my dad's a nurse, my mom's a nurse, my sister works for Kaiser. My brother-in-law, he's going to be, I think, a radiology tech, right? My
So many
brother,
medical stuff.
who's in the medical field, all medical field, right? And I remember I tried it. I was a CNA for a minute. I was a medical assisting, and I was like, do I really want to do this? Or is this something that I'm doing because I'm expected to do it? You know, and being Filipino, it's like your mom is a nurse, your dad is a nurse,
You should
your
be a nurse
biological
too.
father, I don't know who he is. He's a security guard for some reason. He's there. But yeah, so and I was like I always do the impressions of everybody in the family. So they're all like, what are you trying to be comedian? Huh? Who thought
Are
you
you
were
trying to be a
funny?
comedian?
No. No. No, because if I did, they'd be like, oh, you're just like Fluffy and Joe Coy put together. I'm like, yeah, because I'm half Mexican, half Filipino.
Uh-huh.
So like,
Yeah.
because my biological father is Mexican and
Mhm.
my mom's a Filipino.
Yeah.
So imagine that household
Yeah.
where where you have the mom who's just like, you should really be going to school. I don't know why you don't have and then she looks at my dad and goes, now I know.
That's funny. Yeah.
Because she's always like, your dad is so lazy. He was smart, but I don't know what happened to him. And then my stepdad loved my stepdad to death, and we actually worked together, my stepdad and I.
Mhm.
And he was he was the very very supportive father I wish I had my whole life, because
Uh,
he was like telling me, what do you want to do with your life?
yeah.
You know,
That's
and I
very
was like,
sweet.
I don't know. And then
Yeah.
he's like, what do you like doing? He's like, do you like playing video games? I'm like, yeah. He's like, which ones? I was like, GTA. I like stealing cars and
Mhm.
blowing shit up.
I like yeah.
Okay,
He's like,
your
"Okay."
brother does that, but he's better at it. Okay, so he's like, what about all this, the movies thing? And I was like, oh, I love movies. And he's like, what do you love about movies? I was like, I love watching them. I was like, but take your favorite movie and say what could be done better with it. And I said, well, that's the reason why it's my favorite movie. It's perfect. He goes,
Mhm.
really? What's your favorite movie? Surprisingly, I told him, well, which category? Because you have your favorite superhero movie, you have your favorite action movie, you have your favorite drama, your rom
Yeah.
com, your everything, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, your favorite drama. And I go, Forrest Gump. And he looked at me and started laughing. And he's like, why? I was like, the best way to tell a story is let someone tell the story,
Uh-huh.
you know. And he's like, okay, why don't you tell a story? And I was like, what, you mean like write one? He goes, yeah, try it. Like, start journaling. See where you go. So I did. And I wrote like a really thick journal about high school and how much fun it was. And then during that time, I realized that I was the entire time in high school pretending to be someone I'm not
Yeah.
because the friends I have in high school were not into this at all.
Yeah.
I never wore Batman shirts in high school unless it was like to Sadie Hawkins dance or something. Because then it's like, hey, we could do this because twins, right? Something
Yeah.
simple. So I remember now my friends who see me now, they're all like, "You have a fun life," and I'm like, "Yeah, because I work, but my hobby is this.
Mhm.
I love doing this." It
Mhm.
was my stepdad who made me figure that out.
Yeah.
As a teenager, I didn't know what to do with my life. I didn't
Yeah.
know where I was going after high school. I just kind of lost, you know. But here's what it is. I'm here. And now I
Mhm.
know what I want to do for a living. And it took a long time to figure that one out.
Can we ask what it is?
Truck driving.
Oh, for real? Just like traveling around the world.
Uh, yeah, because I discovered this not too long ago that I love driving.
Yeah.
Like, I remember I was working for FedEx. How I got the FedEx job, I still don't know to this day. I had no experience. I was a I was an Uber driver, and I was actually a pretty good one. It's just I talk too much.
Oh, it's okay.
so So trust me, my job as an Uber driver, I have stories for days, especially in Halloween. That
Mhm.
was like the coolest month ever.
Yeah.
I remember one time I picked up a group of girls who were dressed up like the Avengers,
Oh, neat.
and like all four of them, because like the one that sat up front was Captain America. The three in the back were Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man, which
Uh-huh.
basically they look like the cheerleader versions of them.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh.
And then Hulk, I was like, there's a She-Hulk, right? And she goes, really? And I go, yeah. And she's like, no way. And so I, showed the picture, and she was like, hang on, I'll be right back. Ran upstairs, changed like a couple things. All of a sudden,
Uh-huh.
She-Hulk was downstairs, and I was like, okay,
That's
that
great.
works.
Yeah.
So that was cool. I learned I like driving when it came to doing Uber. I realized
Mhm.
I like being a delivery driver when I did FedEx. I realized I like traveling far when I became a patient transporter. And
Yeah.
when
So
I
you kind of
realized
just
all the,
combined all of
yeah,
them. Mhm.
and with all those three things, I was like, I want to be a truck driver.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what I want to do.
That's
That's
great.
what I'm
I'm
doing
glad you
enjoy my
found
life.
that. Yeah. Do you want to do one more question if you have
Absolutely.
the time?
All the time.
Okay. Um, the last one is OnlyFans is a form of freedom. I said that right? And why is that?
Okay.
It's okay. You have other people
Why
very
why
agreeing with
why
you.
is why is OnlyFans a form of freedom? Well, let's see. They're free to do whatever they want on it. For one, you just have to pay to see it.
Yeah,
hmm
that's it.
Yeah.
That's
It's very
okay. I
simple.
feel like
That
what I'm getting from you is like a very like
OnlyFans is
do whatever you want, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen the funniest profiles of OnlyFans like
Uh-huh.
in the past year. Like Destiny has the OnlyFans
Uh-huh.
and she's married.
Yeah.
And she like literally has a room in her house just for it. And I
Uh-huh.
was like, what? And she goes, mm-hmm. She's like, this house? OnlyFans.
Does she do
And I
like
was,
adult stuff?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah, there's don't let your curiosity get the best of you because there's just some things you can't unsee.
okay.
So yeah, just put it that way. When I asked, I was like, what do you do? And then she showed me just 5 seconds. I was like, no, I don't.
Yeah.
I'll never
You're
forget.
reliving it right now.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, that was brutal.
How long have
But
you been
yeah,
friends with Destiny or them?
oh my God, 20 years.
Nice.
We were kids. We were kids when
Yeah,
we
yeah,
met.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
we met as kids, and then we didn't become friends until high school.
Mhm.
Because you know, when you're clicking up, you want to have a good looking guy group,
Mhm.
right? It's just for some reason I thought I was better looking than him, and that wasn't true.
It's okay. Yeah.
So now, if you saw my guy group, you're like, okay, now I understand this.
Yeah. Do you feel like I think for me, I have a very big like I don't really care what you do either. I just like to discuss
Mhm.
it, obviously. But like for me, I feel like in a way it's not really a form of freedom because you have people controlling you and like telling you to do things. I mean, that's if you let them. I mean, I guess it can be a form of freedom if you decide everything that you want to do, but there's always something holding you back. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like before, like some things have gotten to me, and it's like, do I really want this or do I really want something else from it? You know what I mean? So it's like, something is controlling you essentially, like whether that be the money or like the support that you get from a bunch of guys or like stuff like that. Like basically what I'm saying is to lots of OnlyFans models and stuff like that, what does control them is the money that they get. I mean, it's a conscious decision, but like at what cost, you
Oh,
know?
I can answer that one. I can
Okay.
definitely answer that one. Okay, so I have this one friend. I'm gonna call this friend Ava.
Okay.
So my friend Ava was a single mom, right? She's about 21. Very beautiful woman, right? Very
Mhm.
beautiful. Down on her luck, baby daddy took off. It was just her and her daughter, and she didn't know what to do, right?
Mhm.
Gets a job at one of these coffee shops where you just dress in your underwear, right? So she gets a job there, right? And she was just like, I hit rock bottom. I can't believe I'm doing this to pay the bills. And one of the girls there told her, you are a very beautiful woman. You know that, right? And she goes, I don't feel like it. She's like, well, you are. And how do you feel about this job? She goes, it's just to pay the bills. And she's like, look at every job like that that has to do with this. It's just to pay the bills. So this girl that she works with said, here's what I want you to do. You're going to have a lot of customers coming in and seeing you. You're going to have regulars. She's like, so I want you to create a Instagram with a fake name. Never ever use your real name here. Okay.
Mhm.
So she adopts the name Ava, right? So Ava works at this barista.
Yeah.
She has to post whenever she shows up because it attracts customers,
Yeah.
right? In the 3 months she was there, she had about 10,000 followers within 3 months.
Mhm.
Well, this same coworker said, "Okay, have you ever heard of Onlyfans?" And she goes, "What's that?" And she shows her what it is. And she says, "Here's what I want you to do." Back then, it was you could show the link, like, oh, OnlyFans, right? Join my OnlyFans in your Instagram post. Now it's just like the little safety pin, right,
Uh-huh.
for the link. So she told her, look, I want you to take 10 pictures of yourself in every outfit you're gonna wear today, and then post it on there. She goes, okay. She's like, but don't put anything like the link online yet. And she goes, why? She's like, don't do it until you hit 100,000. So every day she started doing this, right? On the OnlyFans. No subscribers, nothing on there yet, right?
Yeah.
So when it got to 100,000, then she put the link, right? She charged only $5 to get on this, right? Out of the 100,000, half of them joined OnlyFans for $5. I mean, because what's $5, right?
Yeah.
That's 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 less than a Happy Meal.
Yeah.
So in that month, imagine your 100,000, 50,000 of them paid you $5 in 1 month. Do that math.
Yeah. But I feel like at the same
Okay,
time,
so
like
it
it's
gets
kind of sad.
yeah, it gets worse. So in just that month, she's like, I got out of poverty in 1 month, right? So then
Yeah.
she's like, she started doing the same thing, but then she knows that the numbers started going down. And then the friend said, well, here's the part you're not going to like. In order to stay relevant, you have to do this.
Yeah.
You can choose to do this or not. It's completely up to you. Because the girl showed her hers, and she's like, I just do my feet.
Yeah.
And I do whatever I want with my feet. And I was just like, what? And she was like, yeah. And she had more followers than me, and she just looks at her feet.
Uh-huh.
So from there, she just got more risque. But this was a choice she made to do this, right?
Yeah.
Because she was like, if this girl could do just her feet, imagine what I could do if I'm just standing in front of my mirror, right?
Mhm.
So from there, it went from pictures to videos. And it's just her like, this is my outfit for today. Look at the front. Now check out the back. That was it, right?
Mhm.
Grew, right? It didn't start getting porn like until there was 1 million people on there. And once there was 1 million people on it, which took about 2 years, that $5 went to 25.
Mhm.
And from the 25, it went to if you want something special, DM me and I will do something for you and say your name for $50.
Yeah.
Once like I said, all choice, right? No one forced her to do what she wanted to do on there, right?
I mean, but at
So
the
she
same
did,
time, like
yeah,
she let greed get to her.
she did. She really did because the money was coming in. Now, after about I want to say 2 years of just it's stacking up, right? Her daughter's at a great school, has no idea what her mom does. Now it's I'm getting lonely, right? I don't want to be alone anymore. I don't want my daughter to not have a dad. So what happens? She gets a boyfriend, right? Now, being in our small town, people will recognize you wherever you are, right? So when word got out, she has a boyfriend. Those numbers, I swear, in 1 month got cut in half.
It's crazy.
So now what? Yeah. So now it was okay. It's either my lifestyle or my dude. Which am I gonna choose? She chose the dude. At the end of the day, she made the choice of, yeah, the money may be dropping, but I'm not gonna risk my happiness with this great guy. Who he was a
Yeah.
good guy. He's not the nicest of
Oh,
guys to
it's
other
over
men.
now?
Yeah, but
Okay.
oh, this.
No, no, no. I mean, like, him. He was a
Oh no,
great guy.
yeah, no, he is a good guy to her. He's not like the nicest guy to guys. He
Uh-huh.
doesn't really like me. So her happiness came first. So the numbers dropped. Next thing I know, the OnlyFans has like down to where it started in the
Yeah, yeah,
beginning,
yeah.
right? So she's making decent money, doing decent content, and not as crazy because she had to realize I got my man here. What is he okay with me doing? Can I do that and still make a living? She found out, yes, not the living that she had before, but enough to where she's still okay. She made the choice to do that, cleaned up all the crazy porn stuff she was doing, and now she just does the 10 pictures in a video and that's it. And she still makes good money. She still
Is
makes
she
more than the
still
friendly
working at
feet.
the cafe?
No, she doesn't do that.
Okay. So it's just like whatever
No.
outfits now.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
it went from lingerie to fashion outfits.
Oh, okay, cute.
And yeah, so now the fashion outfits went from OnlyFans, now they're on YouTube. And she does try on videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And so she has that, like, she's like, this is my outfit. I got this blazer, got this blouse, got this skirt. I ordered it from Shein, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. Tries it on, walks, does her whole little modeling thing, and 4 minutes done. And then she realizes that that money that she was missing out on OnlyFans makes up for it on YouTube because apparently every 1,000 views on YouTube you get $100.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She gets a lot of views.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that she's like not broke anymore and she came back
Oh
and she
no.
like has a man and everything like that. That's great. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's happy. She's married now, and they are
Oh,
on their second together,
their second what?
second child.
Nice, nice.
Yeah. So
And
happy endings.
does she still do it? Even like as a
She didn't do it
married?
for she didn't do it for a while, but she went back to it. But like it's still, outfit of the day. This is my new outfit. Da 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 da.
Yeah.
Doesn't do any porn anymore.
Yeah. So it does sound like,
So
in my opinion, she kind of got better in a way. I
yeah,
think like it did her justice. Like she needed the money, yeah. But like,
she got herself out of poverty, and then she wanted to be happy. So there's just some things you can't have both. You can't have
I
all
mean,
this and
I
expect
mean,
this and be okay with it.
respectfully, I feel like she could have still got that money in another way if she didn't want to respectfully like take the easy way out. I mean, in a certain sense, it's also not easy to show like so much of yourself, but it's also not easy to be working like what I did. I had three jobs at one point. I was still
Hmm.
trying to like run my business and everything. So it's like I guess it's choose your battles essentially. Like you
Yeah,
choose what you want to do. If you think that's a form of freedom, that's good for you.
yeah. And let me tell you, during that pandemic, that's when it blew up.
Makes sense.
And yeah, then after the pandemic, she met old boy, and then after old boy came, that's when she's like, okay, can't let the money get the best of me, and making the choice of cleaning it up
Yeah,
out of
I'm glad
respect for
she
the
cleaned it
relationship.
up, honestly. Yeah.
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 So that was more of the story. It is a form of freedom.
Yeah.
Cause
Yeah, I'm just glad
cause she
that
was.
she's good now.
Oh yeah, she was. That page was something else.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
well,
like I
we're
said.
gonna wrap up here. Is there anything else that you'd like to say?
Oh, not really.
Yeah.
Just,
Well,
I hope everything's good with you. Have a great day. You know,
yeah.
I have to tend to my dogs because it's like 10 o'clock and I could hear that they're barking.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you
Uh,
for being on the show. Hopefully we can
yes.
come on again because I loved all the stories and like talking with you and stuff like that.
Oh, of course. Yeah, anytime. I'm always available during that time period.
Okay, thank you.
All right, no problem. Bye.
Bye.